FS1 is your destination for the day's best sports shows. Tune in for the biggest personalities on the biggest stories, and don't miss us on The Herd weekdays at 12 Eastern. Catch it all right here Monday through Friday on FS1.
Car shopping's confusing. A lot of terms: dealer price, list price, invoice. TrueCar shows you what other people paid for the car you're looking for, new or used. Go to TrueCar.com. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a finalist. He was at the NFC title game. He will cry, by the way, when he is elected into the Hall of Fame. He's acknowledged that. You're not a fake tough guy. You cry a lot.
I do occasionally. When it's, I let it go whenever it feels right.
You just let it go.
I don't mind. You know, some people are like, or they hold it back.
Don't do that. It's not healthy.
Feels good. Feels good.
You have been you have created new health factors in my life. I now take a cold shower in the morning because of Tony Gonzalez. No, it's a true story. So Tony told me one time off the air, he said, I take like a minute cold shower before I turn the heat up. And so that's why my wife hears me screaming at 5:15 every morning.
It's good for your joints.
Good for your
hair. Good for your cardiovascular system. It's good for everything.
Everything.
Stress.
Yeah. And so if Tony and I are aligned that way. We're both taking a cold shower, me at 5 in the morning and him at 10 when he gets up.
When I get up. Yep.
And so let's, it's interesting. You were at the NFC title game. Everybody's freaking out, and I know it was a bad call, but I would like to say this. Everybody is outraged that Tom Brady got the ball in overtime, and Kansas City didn't get a chance to get it. Mm-hmm. It's not fair. Yet nobody is acknowledging that the Saints got the ball first in overtime, and that terribly unfair thing, after that crappy call, they got that unfair, and they could have driven down the field, and Jared Goff could have never touched the ball, but they threw a pick. And the Rams got it and won the game because I believe the Rams were a better team. That's why I picked them to win. Mm-hmm. Is that you can't tell me in Kansas City the overtime is outrageous because the rule is it doesn't have to be both teams because the Saints had the same advantage and didn't get it. So even though the call was crappy, they still were at home and got the ball first in overtime and butchered it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel a great deal of sympathy, but you
don't have sympathy?
Win the game.
No.
Win the game.
I know win the game, but at the same time, we were there on the sideline.
Bad call.
That is no, it's not a bad call. It's not a bad call. That is a horrendous call. That is the worst call that I've ever seen in NFL history because of the implications of it. It's devastating. And it's something I've lost in the NFC Championship game. And to know that the game is over right there, because they get the ball, first down, game is over, kick the extra 3 points or whatever, and the game's over. They're going to the Super Bowl, and they should have been called. How do you get over that?
By the way, how do you know they don't have a first down, and how do you know that they don't score in the first play? Rams get it back with a minute and a half and go back and score.
Because you run the ball. You actually sit on the knee.
Yeah, that's what you think you would do, but Sean Payton, 4 plays earlier, passed the ball on first down instead of running it.
They butchered a lot of stuff, but it's still, in the end, they should have had that. I mean,
who did you feel was a better team?
I picked the Rams to win.
Yeah, I know you did.
I picked the Rams to win.
So did I, and you picked them for the same reason I did.
Yes, but looking at that game, I mean, the Saints were dominating that whole first half, obviously, and it looked, I don't know, I still feel like the Saints were a better football team.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So you don't think
the Rams are a great team. After watching that game, I picked the Rams, but I think the Saints, they did enough. They should have won. They should have won that game.
By the way, Sean Payton did some weird coaching stuff late.
He did.
It's funny about these young hotshot coaches. You know, it's funny, Tony, my whole life, I remember as a kid watching like football shows. And one of the golden rules was take points. Mm-hmm. This isn't the NBA. It's not 1-12. Take points. It's funny that all these hotshot coaches now are like, we're so obsessed by getting a touchdown over a field goal. Sean McVay late in that game said, No, I'm going to take a field goal. I want guaranteed points. I'm going to trust my defense.
Yeah.
I thought Sean Payton butchered at the end, throwing the ball on first down and ostensibly giving the Rams an opportunity to win the game. I could not believe that.
I didn't understand it. The only thing that you could think why he would do that, because he's thinking ahead. He's probably thinking, all right, Wade, the defensive coordinator, is saying, yeah, they're gonna run the ball here, so I'm gonna catch them off guard, and I'm gonna throw a quick slant, safe pass. Ball didn't come out that good. That was kind of a Drew Brees.
No, it was.
And you think that you could be able to complete that. So I would say with a all-pro wide receiver and an all-pro quarterback, that you can make that happen. I understand why you did it. I wouldn't have done it, though. I would have said just run the ball. Be conservative. Be conservative. Why not?
You know, something that impressed me in this game is that I said this a week ago and people just went, whoa. And I said, of all the young quarterbacks, Mahomes, Watson, Carson Wentz, Dak, there's only one that reminds me of Brady, and it's Jared Goff. California, tall, thin, kind of gawky early, doesn't look physically like he's ready, incredibly coachable, very good athlete. I mean, Goff was a #1 pick. Brady was drafted in baseball. Stable, solid, supportive family. Pretty low ego considering their success. Good-looking California kids who both inherit a genius head coach.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoa. And I'm like, you do get that Goff actually, at this stage, is probably more talented than Brady was in year 3.
Yeah.
You sat and watched Goff. I thought Goff outplayed Breeze. I really did late in the game. I thought he outplayed him.
He played really well. He played really well. And he wasn't playing that well coming into the game. He wasn't.
Right.
But I thought he played really well. And you know what? I like that. I'll agree with you there, Colin. Because if you look back at Tom Brady's stats, when he first, not even until year maybe 7 or 8, he had been winning Super Bowls, but he wasn't even going to the Pro Bowl. That means he wasn't even a top 3 quarterback in his conference.
They were a defensive-led team with guys like Curtis Martin, Corey Dillon.
Yep.
They were coaching defense and running games.
And he wasn't putting up these unbelievable numbers. I mean, Jared, he's putting up good numbers. He was in the MVP race this year. And then Cooper Kupp got hurt and things fell off a little bit. But yeah, I think with Sean McVay going forward, you could look at these guys. I think Andy Reid and Mahomie, I think those two coaching quarterback combinations are going to be around for a long time. They're going to be very, very good.
Yeah. You like the way Goff throws the ball? That Brandon Cooks throw, that's as big a play as the NFL had this year.
He can throw the ball.
That he really can. Some guys, Tony, you Cal guys, some guys are just great throwers of the football. It's like Dak, you've said this. It just doesn't look natural. No. Andy Dalton doesn't like. Some guys it looks clunky. Goff, it's just Matt Ryan's like this. It's velvet.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks great. It's smooth. All right, so New England, it would be, it's funny. You, and I knew this when you played, I'd bring you on my show at the other place, and we always talked about nutrition and body extending your career. I got to tell you, the last 2 weeks I've watched Brady, Tony, even Kobe Bryant at the end, he was great, but you're like, not the same guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I looked at Tom the last 2 weeks. He was a wizard.
Looks great.
The game against the Chargers, I was like, I've never seen him this accurate.
Yeah.
His velocity's great.
Yeah. It's like, does he wait to turn it on until the playoffs? Is he bored? I love Tom. I really, really do. But I will say this. If Dee Ford doesn't line up in the backfield on that, something Pop Warner, just be on your side of the ball, that game is over. And Tom threw kind of a wobbly pass there behind, and it was picked off. And now we're sitting here going, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and you lost in that game. The narrative would be a lot different about Tom Brady. But you cannot give an assassin like that. You can't. Michael Jordan, he's not going to miss too many shots in that 4th quarter or in overtime.
Yeah.
And Tom, you gave him a second chance, and he came back like you knew he would. As soon as that was, I was like, it's over. It's over. Here comes Tom Brady. He's so good. The whole New England organization, people try to hate on them because they win. It's the same reason I talk about Duke basketball. People don't like Duke basketball. Why? Because they win, because they graduate their players, because they have good guys. That's what the New England Patriots are. People try to paint this picture that they're the evil empire, and they're not. They're a bunch of good guys. Gronkowski's a good guy. Tom Brady is a good dude. Bill Belichick, I think, is a good guy. He loves football, and that's probably, I don't know what else, in his family, but there's nothing, I don't know why people are always trying to look at them as this evil empire. I
think it's resentment, and I do think Joy said this earlier, is Spygate, Deflategate. There was a piece of video during the game in Kansas City. There was a laser multiple times on Tom Brady, which, by the way, if you did that to a pilot in a plane, you'd break a federal law.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that. If that was, here's the tape, if that was in Foxborough and that was Mahomes, it would be called Lasergate. That's what Joy said earlier. She's right. But instead, there's so much resentment for New England because of their success. Yeah. I think we're the only show that's talked about this. Nobody's even talked about this. So I think, to your point, greatness creates animosity and jealousy and resentment. It does in sports. It does in life.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about cheating a little bit, first of all, every every organization out there cheat. That's ridiculous, obviously. And I'm a Kansas City, obviously, you know,
I don't think the organization had nothing to do with that. Just a goofy fan.
Yeah, but I mean, the stuff people talk about, Spygate, people talk about Deflategate, they talk about all that stuff. I mean, this is normal. Have you ever cheated on a test?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, you've cheated. You've copied homework.
Oh, a million times.
You go out, you get hung over. You're going to take an Advil the next day?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little cheating, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But performance enhancing. My point is with New England, they are the epitome of how to build an organization. No ego. They have guys. If Bill Belichick thinks you're a bad guy or cancer, you're out of there. Antonio Brown would never, and I'm not saying he is a cancer because I don't play with him, but Antonio Brown is not going to play for the New England Patriots. What Tom Brady has done, he's taken less money. We've talked about that before. If you're building an organization, my first pick overall in NFL history, I'm going to take Tom Brady. If it's one game, I'll take Peyton Manning. But I'm taking Tom Brady just because he has no ego. He'll take the 5-yard out. He'll take that all the way down the field. He'll hand the ball off 50 times. He doesn't care. That is what makes this organization so good. It's what makes Duke so good. They have no ego and no ego, no amigos.
Yeah. Ego has no amigo.
Ego has no amigo. And this is what they do. They win because of that. And this is why I love the New England Patriots for that reason.
Well,
this is why they're successful.
The media historically, and this is probably a healthy thing, it's probably healthy that our comedians are mostly liberal and they pick on powerful people. That's funnier. It's funnier to pick on the rich guy than the poor guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably better that the comedians tend to lean left. They stand up for the little guy, they rip the presidents, and they rip powerful corporations. It's also probably a very good thing that the media historically goes after governments, corporations, rich people. And so I don't think it's unhealthy looking at the Patriots and being on them, being tough, and because they are the powerful. But I do think that's a component to the New England coverage, is that the media is going, they're just waiting for the Patriots to make a mistake. That laser story, if it was in Foxborough, the media would come pouring in.
Outraged. Got to replay the game. We got to replay the game.
And I do think New Orleans, one of the reasons that people are ticked is because Los Angeles, gigantic palm trees, little New Orleans got kept out of the Super Bowl. New Orleans is much more likable than the Rams. Kansas City's much more huggable than the Patriots. So this weekend, everybody's like, the Chiefs got robbed, the Saints got... I just think there's a reason. Success creates resentment.
Yeah. And that's a sad thing, too. Not everybody, too. Everybody out there listening, too. We're not talking about everybody, but there are people out there. It's Twitter. It's everything. We're going to talk about the person on top. And if you are that one, you probably have a little envy in you, a little jealousy going on inside you. And I think that's exactly what's going on here, especially with New England, especially even more so than L.A. But people are tired of them. You're tired of them being so good.
By the way, the rating for the Chiefs-Patriots game was the second highest AFC championship rating ever. So as everybody tells you they're sick of the Patriots, they got the second highest AFC championship rating in 40 years. People tell you they hate Duke. The minute Duke gets bounced out of the tournament, the ratings go down.
Yeah.
People tell you they love to work out and eat right. Go to a mall, look around. What people say isn't what people do. I hate the Patriots. I hate Duke. I hate the Yankees. It's like, not really.
Yeah.
You watch them.
And don't think you don't cheat either. Everybody cheats.
I want to talk about that.
Everybody cheats.
So in Atlanta, Kansas City, everybody's cheating a little.
Everybody. You talk about diets. Oh, I'm on a diet. They even have a thing called cheat day. I have a cheat. You have a day designated to cheat.
When you're on a diet.
And when you're on a diet. I'm going to, today I'm just going to.
So every NFL team you've been on is pushing the envelope.
Every NFL team pushes the envelope. I can't give stories, but but absolutely. I mean, you see it all the time. All the time. I mean, Atlanta got busted for pumping noise. You hear about Seattle pumping noise into that. That's
Adderall.
cheating.
Seattle had Adderall issues.
All that stuff. I mean,
Kansas City's using a laser. By the way,
those.
those whistles inside the Superdome.
What do you
Hey, there were whistles.
What was that? Aggravating.
It was one guy.
That is. Well, you weren't aggravated.
One guy. It actually did not bother me. So maybe my ears don't pick up that tone or something. Swear it didn't bother me.
Did you hear all the whistling in the stadium?
It was one guy. His name's Whistle Monster. He's a fan.
Oh, Whistle Monster.
He doesn't have a whistle. He does the like thing. I can't do it.
You know, how about
What is
throw
it?
Whistle Monster out of here?
Yeah, get out of here.
Out of here. Whistle.
He
Free
wears
count.
the whistle head thing. They show him all the time.
Okay. All right. If that was the Patriots,
Oh, Whistlegate.
I'm tired of
These
it.
poor Patriots just get picked on all the time.
They do.
Tony Gonzalez going to cry pretty soon. Hall of Fame induction. I'll be there with you, buddy. Joy with the news.